What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Oil Stream. Happy Friday. The Edmonton Oilers with 2 games coming up this weekend, and you are listening to Edmonton Sports Talk. Thank you very much for being here. If you are watching over on YouTube, feel free to chime in. Trade deadline is 1 week away. If you have any questions, this is the time. We're going to have full trade deadline coverage all of next week, extended deadline day coverage, obviously, on Friday as well. So whatever you got, you can hit us up. What were you doing there, Tommy? What are you moving your hand around like that for?
Just wiping something off my
I
screen.
thought you were just like waving it in front of like a seance or something.
No, weird.
What is,
No, dude.
What is this?
No.
Penner's Pancakes. I see your comment there. We're definitely going to get to that as we continue to work our way through the Oil Stream today. Oil Stream, as always, brought to you by our great partners over at Boston Pizza, the New York Sicilian square footer. You're going to want to get your delicious teeth and lips and tongue onto that bad boy. Right?
What? Yes,
Well,
but
I mean,
yes.
technically,
No,
that's how you
yes.
that's how you eat a piece of pizza.
Yeah, you get your lips, tongue, and teeth onto it. You
I
bite
mean,
in.
You do.
Yes.
What's
The
was
square
that
footer.
weird? The square footer? I mean,
No, it was just very
I guess I
graphic.
could have just said you're going to want to bite that. But yeah,
Dig in.
yeah, the New York Sicilian square footer pizzas, they're here and they are absolutely delicious. We've tried a couple of different types of this, and they look really good. They've also got these new like barbecue type of fries that look
Really?
unreal as well.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it looks real. They look real good. I'm gonna have to get in on those next time. We're gonna be at Boston Pizza, and we'll give you details on that. The next live at BP's will likely be March 11th. That's a Monday for lunch. The Monday after the trade deadline. Trade deadline a week away from now. So your questions, fire them over on YouTube. You can text them in at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and the Oil Stream is brought to you by Boston Pizza. Tommy, we're a week away.
Yeah,
Week away.
Yeah, it's going to heat up. It's Pagnotta tweeted something out earlier
today.
He's been texting me, so we've been going back and forth, and I'm trying to cobble as much information as I can. But, yeah, sounds like the Oilers. Like yesterday, it was quiet. I was told nothing was cooking, but I was told be ready because it'll come quickly. And so it sounds like now things are kicking into high gear as you alluded to, like we're within a week. So, yeah.
Earlier this morning, Pagnotta, who you can listen to on Hello Hockey every single weekend with Tommy and Belzy. Earlier today, he tweeted how the Oilers like Buchnevich.
They do.
And we can certainly get into
Confirmed.
that. 2 hours ago, this was the exact tweet from Pagnotta. Edmonton's 2024 first-round pick is in play, and I've told they've discussed packaging it with a roster player to another club for a defenseman to upgrade their blue line, but there is no decision yet.
Yes.
Could we see a trade for a defenseman this weekend?
Yes.
You think we could?
Yes. I was told they will not. The ask was like 2 firsts for Walker.
Okay, so we're talking Walker here.
Yeah. And I was told Edmonton was not willing to do that, and I don't blame them. Because, people go crazy at the deadline, and the prices can be exorbitant. And then you look at that Tanev deal, and, all the rumors and discussion about what he was expected to fetch. That was a pretty good package that the Flames did get, but it wasn't the first, and it wasn't, I know they got the prospect and then a couple of picks, but I feel like that kind of changed the market and the expectation for teams that are sellers a little bit. So we'll see where this goes. Is Walker going to stay in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I thought there was Huss just said a little bit earlier on today. He saw something on Twitter saying they were trying to maybe get some sort of extension done with him in Philly. But if that extension doesn't get done, is it crazy to think that the Oilers would be among front runners for him?
It's not crazy to think that. That's somebody that they're interested. I was also told that I remember I talked to Pagnotta about Lawton. He brought up Lawton. That's apparently out the window now.
So it's more of a focus on Sean Walker at this
having
point.
A good year. We've acknowledged that, but
yeah. It's funny because Lawton is actually on pace for about 40 points.
Yeah, but
under contract for 2 more years at $3 million.
Yeah,
he made my list. I'm going to go over my list with you. My top 10 trade deadline targets.
Good.
Okay, so it was LeBron who was talking about Cody Ceci and at first maybe in that Tanev thing. Yeah. If that package was out there for Tanev, is that a package that's the same package for Sean Walker, do you think, as an unrestricted free agent?
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we'll see what ends up happening. I thought maybe, man, I hope this doesn't get done till next Friday. Like I want some deadline day buzz. I kind of thought they want to wait on it a little bit to continue to accrue some cap space here prior to the deadline. Mind you, I guess they still could. Let's say if CC moves out one way, Walker comes back, you're really not gaining too much. If you can have him to retain just a little bit, then you probably still be able to accrue as much cap space as you possibly can prior to the deadline.
Right, and like, it's exciting to talk about that from an Oilers standpoint, but if you're Philadelphia and you're looking at it and you like Sean Walker, wouldn't you want to keep him? And that's kind of
that must be why there's discussions still coming there.
They're right in the mix. Philly's kind of having this nice resurgence, and so you want to keep good players. This is an interesting dynamic. It's developing quickly, so we'll see where it goes.
The interesting element from this is that Walker's a free agent at the end of the year. He'd be a rental. Cece would be here next year under contract at a reasonable rate. They're not. Are they going to? Do you think they'd be comfortable with Bouchard and Desharnais on the right side next year, and then like Broberg on the right side with Kulak? Is that because if you're bringing in Walker for the playoff push, I get it. We fully support doing whatever you can to try to take a run at a cup. But then all of a sudden, your right side next year is not looking too.
You're going shopping.
Too hot to trot,
Yeah.
But how much money are they going to be able to spend?
I don't know.
Shopping on it, right? That's the.
There's some things that in the offseason could happen. I'm not going to go there yet, but yeah.
From a defensive perspective,
just team in general.
Just team in general. Yeah. Maybe take from one position to help at another, maybe.
And that's just me spitballing from just having some discussions, but the focus is now, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so if they were to trade, let's just play this scenario. Sean Walker decides that he's not going to stay in Philly on an extension. Philadelphia trades him to the Oilers for Cody Ceci and a first. How much is left to go out and try to get? I'm talking from like an assets perspective. Like, is next year's first in play this year as well? Or because I'm just trying to think if you want to try to get both, and we'll go through the list. Sean Walker, I think, is number 6 or 7 on the list, and there's not giving up the first for Walker. And by the way, Jim Matheson will hate this. I know Maddie's been very pro CC and anti Sean Walker.
I get it.
And poor Maddie takes a little bit of a beating on this, but he sticks to his guns. I'll give him a lot of credit there. I'll be interested to see his take if something like this were to go down. The reason you look at it and go, well, you might have to pay that price is because there's not a lot of defensemen. There's a reason Lyubushkin has already been moved.
Yeah.
Lyubushkin's usually like a right before the deadline deal on Friday. Right. But the Leafs weren't in on Tanev, so they pulled the trigger on Lyubushkin, who's very minimally going to move the needle for them. But there's just not many of these guys. There's Carrier in Nashville. But look at Nashville. They've won 7 in a row.
Yeah.
Like, what's Nashville going to do? They're going to start pawning on some of these guys?
They're in the mix again, too. And they made that late charge last year when they were sellers, too. So it's weird. There's so many teams still in the mix. Like, even though we're talking about it heating up today, like, maybe things cool off, and then they wait to see what happens in this next week in the 2 or 3 games that are left for those teams that are kind of on the cusp. And then it takes till the 11th hour for them to decide, all right, we're out. We're not going to make it. Let's be sellers. Like, it's interesting. It's nerve-wracking. And then these teams need to go to their war rooms and decide, what are we doing? And that has a big effect on potential deals, obviously. All
right, hit us up in the Nasty Chat on YouTube. If you are listening online on iHeart or on TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the best way to communicate with us. I mean, you could go on the website and hit the submission form, but we might not see that during the show. Like, just fire us a text.
I also just saw your chart.
Oh, just now you're recognizing. You know what? This is like, people don't initially recognize it because I usually have facial hair outside of CFL season.
I just saw it.
And I also make it look really good. I mean, who are we kidding? What do you think, Tommy?
It's formidable.
Right?
Yeah, it's good, on par with Trev's mustache. Like, it's thick.
As far as chin straps go, this is the best one in the business.
Yeah.
I'd say arguably the city.
It's very symmetrical.
Is it? You think it is? Yeah. I worked on it last night. I wasn't feeling great yesterday, so I'm shaving last night. I was a little tired. And I was like, man, I hope this looks okay.
It looks amazing. I as you were talking, I just looked. I'm like, he charged
I did. Yeah, Chin Strap Awareness Month. I can't be the guy who pushes to end the stigma and not support the movement, you know? So, plus my wife loves the way it looks.
Does she actually?
Yeah, so it'll be a good month in the Nielsen household. Like it's
anyway, sorry to distract.
Yeah, sorry, man. I didn't mean to throw you off.
I just saw it and I was like, oh my
throw you
God.
for a little loop there.
Great.
That's my bad, I guess.
No, that was all on me.
But I've been very spicy since I shaved this in today.
Good.
Yeah, no, it's been good.
It's been a fun week actually.
Yeah. Well, you were very happy on Wednesday. Remember how happy you were on Wednesday?
Yeah, I just felt it was. People were like, "What did you do?" I was like, "I don't know." I felt really good. That was a fun show. I still feel good. So, good vibes.
I'll be 26 says, are you going to have any EST parlays on the weekend? Yeah, I will. I'll have a parlay for both of the games, both Saturday and Sunday, and I'll probably put together a little F1 parlay for you as well this weekend over at CoolBet. So watch my X account for that one. Propane Pimpleton says, making the move this weekend seems far-fetched with 2 games in 2 days. I don't think the D-ad happens until next week at the earliest.
I understand that rationale, and I'm just like, I'm getting Dave's texting me. He's like, hey, start sending some texts out because I'm getting word that this could happen immediately. And I'm like, whoa. Like, let me have a sip of coffee. Let me think about this.
Yeah, you got to
no.
calm down here, Dave Pagnotta. Like,
Dave's on it, man.
My goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So, would you say then are we on high alert for an Oilers trade over the next 72 hours?
I don't like urgency.
So not high alert.
I would say it's a possibility.
If we were going DEFCON scale.
Oh no.
And what is it? DEFCON 5 is the big one, right?
Yeah, DEFCON 5.
I think DEFCON 1 is the lower end of the DEFCON scale. Would you say we're at about DEFCON 2 or 3 on a possible deal?
Sure.
All right, let's go DEFCON 2.5.
Yeah.
We're on DEFCON 2.5 for a possible deal here. If you are watching on YouTube right now, make sure you hammer the thumbs up for us. We would appreciate that. If you have any comments about my sick chin strap, feel free to throw them in there as well. I know you're jealous of it, but that's okay. There's another text there that says, guys, it's realistic to think that they would actually make a deal on D with the 2 games this weekend.
Also, really quickly, I was told that the expectation is he re-signs in Philly.
The expectation is that he will
re-signs in Philly.
Okay. Yeah. But if he doesn't,
then they're moving.
Then they go after him.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's the latest.
That's what I'm told.
On Walker.
Yes.
780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. Guys, you would think that the first would be in a package for Buchnevich or someone with term, and Cheeker says he agrees with Penner's Pancakes on that one. Well, that's why I was kind of curious, like, what more do they have to move if they actually legitimately want a top 6 winger? Can you get that? Can you get like a Frank Vetrano without a first rounder or something along those lines? Like
Adam Henrique's a name.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. Can you get somebody else
maybe
without those other assets if you decide to move it for a D-man?
The ask will start out high, and then you try to chip away at the sellers and
try to work your way down a little bit.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, the others have a few prospects that they could put in play if they are indeed, as all in as they possibly can be. As far as draft picks go, 2024 first and second, no third, no fourth. They have a fifth. They got 2 sixths, no seventh. 2025 they've got a first, no second, a third, and a fourth, and then 2026 they've got all their picks. And if you think talking 2026 picks is crazy, I'll tell you right now, in the Juan Rincon Hockey League this year, I traded my first 5 picks of the 2027 draft.
Come on.
So, hey, I'm committed to winning. I've won 2 in a row. I'm trying to three-peat. I traded my first 5 picks in our 2027 draft.
I still appreciate the fact that you guys have a Juan Rincon draft, and it's still named after Juan Rincon, who I, playing MVP Baseball 2005 as the Oakland Athletics, had as my closer.
Yeah, you would have.
And I traded for Gustavo Chassin.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, from the Jays.
I made him my ace, man, and I loved that game. That was probably the best baseball game.
That was your favorite one?
I know the show is supposed to be amazing, but there are still guys who have modded MVP baseball
with modern rosters and stuff
and logos and ballparks. They continue to mod it because they believe it is the best.
If I had that ability, I'd do the exact same thing, Tommy.
Absolutely.
I would do the exact same thing. Yeah. I got distracted there. Where was it going?
We were talking about Juan Rincon trading 2020.
Oh yeah, trading. Oh yeah. So anyway, we're kind of going over the picks. So if you were to move, let's just say, as per LeBron, with them being in the mix on Tanev and us talking about Sean Walker, if he doesn't sign in Philly, the price tag would be a first and Cody Ceci. So let's say that first is gone. Then you've got a second that you could work with this year. You've got your first rounder in 2025. You got a third rounder in 2025. And then you've got like these fifths and fourths that you could use for some retention. I think that's one of the things that you have to like about these trades so far that we're seeing happen. Teams are getting these guys at 25% of their cap hit, right? So if you're Ken Holler right now, you're looking at it and you're phoning all your future fifth round picks and be like, sorry, dude, you're going to go somewhere else. Because these draft picks are out the window here in a retention sort of scenario. So there's that. 780-218-9999. Dusty, DEFCON 1 is the highest level. DEFCON 5 is the lowest.
Oh, okay.
What?
Then let's go like.
I thought I always heard on those shows they said, oh, we're going to DEFCON 5.
It sounds pretty cool, though.
DEFCON 5 sounds more dangerous than DEFCON 1. But here it is, confirmed. I guess I shouldn't have doubted you. I'm sorry. I want to check it for myself. DEFCON 5, least severe. So it doesn't matter because we're at 2.5. Which
Right
is smack dab in the middle anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
Hontorio Mome says spending a first on Walker is a fireable offense. What say you?
Well, the guy's not going to be the GM next year, so he doesn't.
It's a I'm moving on offense.
Yeah, I was told he wants to leave the organization in a very, very good spot. So there is some scare.
So he's not like just sewering the future to try to go.
And I've suggested on this show, I would be going all out, doing everything I can to win and give everybody the FU with the Stanley Cup ring on my way out. But apparently that's not the way Ken Holland's looking at it. He wants to do it right and leave this franchise in a decent position when his time comes, which is at the end of this year.
People are all fired up over Pagnotta's first in a roster player. Ryan from Sask, he's not even listening to the show. He's just texting in. I love this. Good afternoon, fellas. FYI, I'm not listening to the live show, but I will on my way home from work. Thoughts on this? Any noise on Chychrun to play the right side with Nurse? Pagnotta said, first round and a roster player for an upgrade on D. Holland likes to move first if the player has term. CC makes sense. Hometown. Lives in the summer. Feel bad for him if he goes. Serviceable player. Good teammate. Hard minutes. But this would be a clear upgrade. If another team was to retain 25% of the Chychrun contract, that's only a $100,000 difference than what CC makes. If you flip a player out, you would still need to add depth D before the deadline. Just my thoughts on a Friday. Ryan from Sask, who's not even listening, but still wanting to text in.
I appreciate that. I don't personally see Chychrun as a fit here. They were in on him, obviously, last year, but no, I think they want to focus on the right shot, D-man. I could be wrong. I was told that they are open to everything to upgrade this team, but just don't expect anything goaltending-wise. So forwards and D.
Yeah. So anybody who said, well, if they don't acquire a goal at the deadline, it's going to be a major mistake, are probably going to be disappointed?
Yes.
All right. So we can officially, like today, I was putting together a little trade deadline list that we'll kind of dive into here. Okay. And I had like a sort of some sort of wishful thinking Marc-Andre Fleury on there. It was highly unlikely anyway.
Not gonna happen.
But there's no time. Like over the next week, we would probably be wasting our time talking about goaltenders. It's going to be Skinner and Pickard, and that's it.
That's what I've been told and what I've been led to believe.
All right. So take that for what it's worth. Oilers do not seem to be in on any goaltenders, which, we've talked about it a million times in the last month here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Many of you want to see a top six winger. Well, they're still apparently in the mix on that. Mm-hmm. Many of you do want to see an upgrade on Cody Ceci. They're definitely still in the mix on that. And then many of you like to see like a Nick Dowd in the bottom six.
Yep.
It's 3 boxes.
Try to tick as many as
I was going to say, is there a chance they tick all 3? With some retention along the way in different places?
I don't know. I don't think it's likely. I'd like to say yes. That's hard to do.
That's a busy deadline.
And you're working with minimal.
That's a busy deadline.
You don't have a lot to work with. So
they'd have to get super creative, I think, to probably pull off all 3 of those. Mm-hmm. But 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. K-Gill is in.
K-Gill's probably freaking out.
You think so?
Carmen, are you okay?
Taking risks is going all in. I guarantee you guys, no one on this chat have ever seen Walker play. Nurse's pair has no puck mover. Walker is a puck mover. It could be a pairing that was like Nurse and Barry. So,
well, Walker did play for LA for a bunch of years, so
people are familiar. I think people are, considering the rivalry with the Kings for the last little while, I think you're relatively aware of what Sean Walker can bring to the
Veteran
table.
D-man, some offensive upside. Not big. Different than CeCe.
And it opens up a glaring hole on your back right side heading into next season where you have to go and find somebody that you think you can play in the top 4 for around the same that CeCe made this year.
Right.
Which you might be able to do.
Maybe.
Buchnevich or Busnevich. I'd say he wants Pavel Buchnevich or nothing.
Who said, is that Carmen?
That's Johnny
again?
Alberta.
Oh, Johnny Alberta.
Johnny Alberta sliding in.
That's a good text. They like Buchnevich. They're interested in Buchnevich.
How could you not like Buchnevich, right?
He's being shopped around.
Yeah.
I said it on the pre- and post-game show the other night. I know he's being shopped around by St. Louis. I'm curious to know about his 12-team no-trade clause. Would he waive to come here? I'm assuming Edmonton is on that list. Generally is.
Did I not see somebody say he would waive to go to a contender? It was a contender.
Edmonton would be
regardless of
categorized
location, maybe?
That's great. Yeah.
Cheeker is in. And hey, if you're watching on YouTube right now, hammer the sub. If you haven't subbed to Edmonton Sports Talk yet, we'd appreciate that. Almost at 7,100 subs.
Nice.
And hammer a thumbs up for us on the likes there as well. That'll go a long way. If you're listening on iHeart, tune in, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Just fire us a text, 780-218-9999. Cheeker's in and says, guys, the first has to go for someone with term.
I understand that, and I don't disagree.
I would prefer that for sure.
That would be ideal.
Yeah. The first for the rental that also is leaving, and then you give up a warm body that could be on your blue line next year. CeCe's best years are behind him. I get it. You would have to have some sort of plan. Yeah, but I mean, most guys' best years are behind them when they hit 30, 31, 32. And this is not 26 years old and you're a running back in the NFL.
CFL, yeah.
But
I get that.
I don't think that's not unfair of me, is it? I think CeCe's best years are behind him.
He's a very nice guy. I want to be positive, and I think that he still has a few good years left.
You think so?
I want to believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick by that.
Do you have a different mic sock on your mic?
I did. I changed it.
You changed it up?
Yeah.
When did you change it?
Like literally 2 minutes before we started.
I didn't even know. Do you do that every time?
Yeah. Here's Eric's.
You do it every single time?
Yes.
How come I've never noticed this before?
They gave us these at $12.60.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
And I had it in my backpack, and I changed it.
I totally did not notice it till right now. I'm looking over there. I was like, Your mic sock seems bigger than my mic sock. Interesting.
Doesn't mean anything.
I know it doesn't mean anything. There's no innuendo there or anything.
It's how you use it.
I was just like, yes, exactly, Tommy. Brandon from Windsor texts in this morning. Man, he's been hitting us a lot today. DeBrusk, Carrick, and Carrier/Chikrin. That's a high end list.
Chikrin thing is interesting. Well, obviously, Oiler fans are getting hot and horny about Buchnevich, but again, there's other teams that want him. Chikrin popping up.
Only the Oilers. Only Oilers want him, Tommy.
But this Chikrin talk, I just don't see it working. I don't see it happening. Like, isn't Ottawa okay with keeping him for another year?
Yeah, I don't think there's any sort of urgency that you got to move on from this guy. I don't think.
Yeah.
Portions of the Oil Stream brought to you by One Putt Virtual Golf, the best and most accurate indoor golf place in the city for both serious and casual golfers. They got 6 TrackMan bays, which makes it the perfect place to golf, hang with your friends, crush a couple EST 6 o'clocker loggers. Hello. And watch an Oilers game. Go golf, have some of our delicious beer that you simply can't go wrong with, and watch an Oilers game. There's no reason not to get in on this. Their spring league did launch on February 26th. It wraps up, signing closes this week. So you got to sign up right now if you want to get in. It's 8 weeks long, $360 to sign up. It includes 8 hours of golf plus your league fees, and they're dishing out sweet prizes. The winner of the league will get a driver valued at over 800 smackaroos as well.
Tailor-made QI10, the next iteration from the Stealth and the Stealth 2. I asked Murray McCord about it from the VIP Golf Show, which returns April 28th on our station on Sundays. Murray said that this is like the best version. Obviously, the technology and all that, and every year they say it's the best, but he said that super forgiving. And the fact that these drivers now are $800 is insane.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
It is insane.
The best way to get one is to win one with one putt.
Yeah, exactly. One Putt put it on their Instagram, and I was like, I want that driver so badly. And I played with Jack Michaels last year. He got hooked up with like Stealth clubs. He got the whole set, including the Stealth 2 driver. And Jack's been playing more. He became a member at a course out in Sherwood Park. And
Are him and Shoggy like co-members?
Yeah, they are. Him and Shoggy are very tight now.
Yeah. They're golf buddies.
It's adorable. And their wives are very good friends.
It's very cute.
Randy and Emily are very good friends. They go on vacations together now, by the way. Because I get made fun of. Jack calls me Mini Shogger sometimes, and I'm just like, aren't you his best friend now?
Yeah, you guys are they're the tight ones.
Anyway, Jack, not a great golfer, but he got these new clubs. He got better. He worked
Did the
on
clubs
some
help,
things,
or did he work on stuff?
and
There's a difference.
He's bombing that driver.
Come on.
Bombing it.
I've golfed with Jack a couple times.
Me too.
He's bombing the driver?
He's bombing this thing, and he's got the Stealth 2.
I don't believe you.
Believe it. I couldn't believe it.
I think this is a sales job for the Stealth 2.
I'm not I do use TaylorMades, but I went to Murray and I told him the story, and Murray's like, Tommy, like, he's like, you're using a Nike Covert first generation. That thing's old. It's dust. No wonder Jack is crushing it past you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but Murray, like, his swing isn't good. He goes, the technology is there, man. Like, it makes
You don't need the big power swing to make it go far away.
Yeah, so this QI10 got me very excited.
Speaking of golf, if you missed it on the Nielsen show yesterday, we officially announced it, but the first annual, or as some of you call it, the inaugural EST golf tournament, save the date, July 9th at the ranch with the Merman, Murray McCourt, and it's going to be a good time.
I'm very excited. I had as soon as we put it up on our socials, I had people texting me, and people like, "Don't screw me. I need to
force him here."
Pegnata's like, "I want in. I'm flying in from Toronto for this thing."
That's sick.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
You know who else is coming in for the tourney?
Who?
So we were talking about it today. Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. It's in my
where you got it?
Huge F1 hoodie. Who texted me?
I had so many people being like, "I'm in. I want to get." I'm like, okay, Wanik and the boys are working on it, but I'll pass that information along.
So HR Daddy.
I knew HR Daddy would want
HR Daddy texts me and says, Nasty Nana is taking a spot in the golf tournament.
She is? Oh,
yeah,
I love Nasty Nana.
So it'll be my mom, my dad, and then my sister, who hasn't been to Edmonton in like 10 years.
Wow.
And her family are coming up. So my brother-in-law, my sister, my mom, and my dad are going to have a foursome.
That's awesome.
That's kind of cool, right?
That is very cool. I like that. I miss our golf tournament. We had a lot of fun.
It wasn't a wise decision to not bring the golf tournament back after the pandemic, but whatever. I said it was my beef yesterday on the Nielsen show. I said I know they killed the station.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But I was always angry that they didn't make the golf tournament continue. So we're looking forward to the golf tournament. We're going to try to make it be a pretty good time. It's Tuesday, July 9th, a classic Tombstone Tuesday situation. Tommy, our entire staff's going to dress up in Tombstone costumes, and we'll hit the links.
And, Can I be Doc Holliday, or do I have to be someone else? Do I have to be, was it Morgan?
Morgan's, that's one of the other brothers.
I know.
Good work. Yeah, nice. That's a deep pull right there.
It's a great movie.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is in 780-218-9999. Or hit us up on the Nasty Chat here as well. Where is it here? Hontorio Mome says LeBron is saying it's Oilers versus Vegas for Buchnevich. I haven't seen that. Where's he saying that? Where did he say that? I didn't see that one today.
I was just reading an article as we were speaking.
From Pierre?
From Pierre. He's got rumblings right now.
Is that at The Athletic?
Yes.
Oh, here we are. Oh, Golden Knights versus Oilers. Yeah, 15 minutes ago. Yeah. I don't have The Athletic's membership here, but...
it's like $1.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's worth it. I can read Low Tide stuff on his other blog.
Yeah, DNB is great.
Yeah, DNB. Yeah, DNB's actually a really good writer. Yeah. Well, we had one forever. We had like one that we all shared at 1260.
I know.
So when we moved over here, I still haven't updated it yet. Anyway, are you on it? Did you check it out?
I am on it.
Okay.
Do you want me to read any?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
One of the more fascinating subplots ahead of Friday's 3 p.m. Eastern trade deadline pits two Western Conference contenders, the Oilers and Golden Knights, against each other, with both teams poking around on similar forward names. Dregs reporting on Insider Trading that with Mark Stone out, Golden Knights are going shopping. Absolutely. Vegas looking for high-end forward: Gensel, Tarasenko, Toffoli, Henrique, Eberle, Zucker, Mantha, Pacioretty, Wenberg, and Duclair, just to name a few. Those are all, the majority of those are names that the Oilers are also looking at, obviously. And then the rental group forward with term like Buchnevich, Vetrano, Smith, and Granlund. Pierre points out that the Golden Knights have cap space to play with. Oilers
This is the issue. This is what it's going to come down to. If it's the Oilers versus the Golden Knights for Buchnevich, you might as well book a ticket to Vegas to go watch him play.
This is very true.
There's just the Golden Knights are going to have the cap, the LTIR space, which means they're not going to need to get anything retained. Probably the Oilers. I just don't see it. The Oilers are going to have to overpay to get him, because they're going to need a little bit of retention the other way.
I don't want to give away the whole article because Pierre's
work is go
great.
Pay the dollar.
Exactly. But the one thing at the end that I just want to point out, and we've talked about it as well, is Pierre says, not to mention the fact that Edmonton is also looking at the defenseman market, as we know and have been discussing for the first 32 minutes of this show.
Is there a top 4 defenseman and a top 6 forward coming here prior to the deadline? Like they're in the mix for both. Is that what's going to happen? I mean, I think you'd have to be ecstatic. I know we've already ruled out goalie, but you have to be ecstatic if that's going to happen.
I think the forward thing is probably more likely because if you can't land the defenseman, say Walker resigns with Philly, I think you go for a depth guy, and you get that veteran to make sure you have 7 D-men that you can rely on. So
you do want that.
Yeah. They need that. You can't go in with 6 D-men and then expect Philip Broberg to be a wonderkind.
Today on Lock Shop, Huss was like, he goes, the Winnipeg might be trying to add a D because most teams want to go into the playoffs like 8 or 9 deep on the blue line. Yeah. And the Oilers are 6 with Broberg right now.
And I do this every time we talk, knock on wood, for the Oiler fan base out there, that these guys stay healthy. What do they have? 3-man games lost to injury?
3-man games lost to injury in the back end the entire season. Yeah. This has been a remarkably healthy campaign, really for the entire team, but especially for the blue line.
Didn't start great, but certainly got better.
As Ontario Mome says, it's about as much about Vegas not getting him. But Vegas is going to get somebody. Vegas gets somebody every single year. If you don't think Vegas is adding 1 or 2 players prior to the deadline, open up your eyes, Cinderella. Yeah. Where have you been?
Vegas it's a destination, man. It's proven winners, obviously. And sorry, we unfortunately here in Edmonton don't have that same clout.
780-218-9999. Portions of the Oil Stream brought to you by CoolBet, where you can find our exclusives from the Lock Shop every single day. And this weekend, I will be passing along to the boys. We'll get one up early tomorrow morning. I'll probably send that info off to them tonight for the Seattle game. What time's pregame start tomorrow? What are you at, 12:30? Mm-hmm. It's a busy day tomorrow. Yes. He's kind of just setting up shop here. I like it.
Yeah, basically.
What's happening on Hello Hockey?
Jonathan Torrens is going to be with
J-Rock.
us. J-Rock himself, yes. I talked to Jonathan the other day, and I was like, dude, we want to have you on the show. He's like, I'm in bad. So that'll be good. He's the one that gave me the name T-Biscuit.
That was of course.
It comes from J-Rock. I sent that video to Trev. He could use it however he so pleases. And then we are going to have Pagnotta will be around, so we'll probably be getting a bunch of updates, and we'll hit on the Pacific Division teams. We will talk about the Oilers, and then Belzy's working on one more guest. So it's going to be a loaded show, and then Belzy's going to stick around for pregame. Cass is out tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful. Well, that works out well then. Oh, good. That'll be good to mix in Belzy on the pre.
It's going to be a fun, busy Saturday here at EST.
So make sure you're sticking around. 12:30 pregame tomorrow as well. Mr. D, my wife and I loved Mr. D.
Oh, yeah.
And Torrens on Mr. D is just, my God.
Mr. Chile?
He's my favorite character on that show. Like, Jerry D's funny. Yeah. I like Jerry D.
Yeah.
But Torrens is absolutely hilarious on that one.
This guy, man. And, like, when he was texting me and he said he could come on, I was like, excellent. I tried to get him a couple of weeks ago, but he was busy. He was traveling around on flights and stuff. And then he goes, I have to coordinate everything around dance, horseback riding, and skateboarding lessons. I'm an Uber driver for my children.
Ah,
Tom."
he has kids. Okay, that changes a lot.
He's got daughters, and his wife is very busy. They have a business themselves. He's a busy guy, but he's a great sport, excellent actor, and just an even better guy. So I'm very excited to have him.
That'll be a good one. That's on Hello Hockey tomorrow, and then pregame show at 12:30.
If you haven't seen it, on Letterkenny, he plays Noah.
I didn't even know he was on Letterkenny.
He plays Noah Dick.
Okay.
And
Noah Dick?
Yeah, and like the Amish Mennonite family. And his first ever scene, his wife is Anita Dick.
Of course. My God, really?
And his first scene is gold. And the lady who plays Anita Dick is from The Walking Dead.
Which one?
She played Rick's wife.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. And
I loved Rick's wife.
It is like a 5-minute scene, and it is unbelievable. So the crew is sitting around the veggie stand.
Okay.
And Jono pulls up in the carriage with the horse-drawn carriage. And he's like, "Have you seen our little dicks? They've been out." and
oh, come on.
So he says something, and the guys from Letterkenny are like, "That's a loaded question." And he goes, his wife goes, "Where are our daughters?" And he goes, "Anita Dick, please." Just pauses. And I was like, damn it, Jono. Like, it's just the timing is perfect.
Like this girl?
Yes.
Sarah Wayne Callis?
Yes.
She was in Prison Break.
Yes.
She was in Prison Break. She was Scoville's guy in Prison Break.
Anita Dick in Letterkenny.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch
She's
that.
phenomenal.
I'm going to have to watch that right
scene,
now, man.
I can't even do it justice.
I'm watching it as soon as we're done here.
He crushes it, and and all the little subtle jokes. And what's the sister's name? Katie? Her brother goes, "Katie, have you seen a dick or two?" And she's like, "That's a loaded question, big brother."
Of course.
And I was just like, oh boy. So I just go watch it. It's somewhere on YouTube.
So Letterkenny delivers.
It delivers.
Yet again.
Yeah.
Yet again.
Very clever writing.
All right. You can text us anytime. I didn't know that she was in it.
Yeah. She's
I loved her in Prison Break. And I liked her a lot in Walking Dead too.
Jenna of all people in the nasty chat says, "I don't understand what's so funny about
really
their
funny.
name." Hilarious, Jenna.
Really, really, really funny. Yeah. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Portions of the Oil Stream obviously brought to you by great partners over at Popeyes. Oilers deal is come and gone. It was a huge success, but you can still go in and get the who was it? Somebody texted in today. Big Maple? Maybe Big Maple? Anyway, somebody texted in this morning. I was just like, you'll love this. He goes, the last 3 Saturdays in a row, he's gone to Popeyes at 11:18, one of the Popeyes locations, on a Saturday, and had a blackened chicken sandwich while listening and watching Hello Hockey.
Excellent.
I was just like, wow, that's great.
Big Maple.
Advertising works.
It works.
Advertising works.
Mm-hmm.
Go hit up any of the Popeyes locations. Timber Woodsman says, Dusty, how have you not watched Letterkenny? Shorzy. I've watched a few seasons of Letterkenny. The quickness, the pace of it drives me nuts a little bit, but it is hilarious.
It's got a
it's that very unique pace to it.
Yeah, it's very
the big guy from Letterkenny, co-MC'd the CFL Awards.
Did he?
I think he's coming to town. I think he's got a show coming up in town here too.
Because they're all like comedians and stuff.
I can't remember his name.
He's pretty funny.
But yeah, he did the him and Kay Burness co-hosted the CFL Awards in Niagara the Thursday of Grey Cup weekend, and he was really funny.
Yeah.
He was really funny. It was good. I haven't watched Shorzy though. I don't have a lot of time to sit down and watch shows. So I've watched Letterkenny, but like years ago. Now I don't really watch it. I don't have time. I don't watch anything. Really.
Yeah, I haven't watched Shorzy either. People love it, and I've seen like little snippets of it.
Yeah.
The clever back and forth. With
very similar, right?
Yeah. I can appreciate that. The trips are pretty good, but I went through all of Letterkenny. I think I watched the first 4 or 5 seasons, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like, I got it. And once I'm done with the show, I leave it. I park it. I don't revisit.
You don't revisit? I like to revisit. That's my thing. It's like usually at night I'll put the kids to bed, hang out with Tammy for a little bit, and then I'm downstairs doing work, business stuff, prepping for the show or whatever. And I just throw on like shows I always watch. So I don't like have to really pay attention to it. So it's like Suits
background
or it's
noise.
like Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never really had time to watch new shows. All right, keep your questions coming in. Nasty chat or hit us up at 780-218-9999. From a non-trade perspective, we get to more trade stuff if you have any questions, so don't be shy. What do you think about Dylan Holloway in the top 6? They've pumped him up there a little bit recently, right? A little bit here, a little bit there.
Sure.
Where do you come out on? Do you have any time for that?
I do, because I'll reiterate, I'm encouraged by his style of play, his attitude. It hasn't turned into points necessarily, and I think eventually that'll come with Dylan Holloway. If he's popping and he's putting together a big game and he is creating offensively, like, eventually it's going to go. So when he gets these like opportunities to moonlight in the top 6, I get it, but the leash isn't very long, and that's understandable because at some point you need some points to go up. And what does he have, like 5?
Yeah, I like how aggressive he is, though.
So
he seems like a you-know-what disturber. More than the other guys in the bottom 6.
Yeah.
Like, he gets on pucks. He's relentless on it, which I don't think a lot of the other guys are, or don't have the ability to be as quick about it as Dylan Holloway does.
I don't think he's going to be like a really high-end scorer, but I think he'll be a middle 6 guy and a decent one.
17 to 22 goals.
And that's great. Yeah.
45 points.
Sure.
50 points maybe.
Yeah.
You need them. I mean, all teams need them. They got the high-end guys.
Mm-hmm.
They got the high-end guys. From practice today, Skinner will start against Seattle.
Okay.
In the afternoon game. So I guess Pickard would go against
Pittsburgh, and that's fine. Like Pittsburgh is, they're kind of,
Pittsburgh's trying to stay alive,
but they're 8 points back. So they're starting to teeter, and they're almost out of it.
They've kind of been teetering the whole season, really.
Yeah, that's true.
They have not been very steady so far.
Oh, in the nasty chat, Alex says, I revisit Band of Brothers that's a show I love.
I've never seen Band of Brothers.
It's amazing.
Is it?
And The Pacific, which was not as good, but still pretty damn good. Band of Brothers set the bar so high. That's a great one. And Alex, that's one I actually go back. I'll watch like clips on YouTube just to be like, oh yeah.
This text is in 780-218-9999. First time they've ever texted in, so thank you. If you're checking us out on TuneIn or at iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tell your friends about it. We'd appreciate that. The text just says, Mark forward, ? What's that mean?
I don't know. I saw it. And
is that an autocorrect? What would autocorrect to Mark forward? ?
No.
Trying to think, like, forward is a hockey term, so is the Mark autocorrected? Or was he trying to mention a guy named Mark and the forward was an autocorrect? I'm not too sure on that one. Trevor Wilson, big guy's name from Trevor Wilson.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw something pop up on my social media that he's coming to town for a show. Yeah, Mark forward. I don't know what that text means. Thank you very much. RCN says 24 first, 25 first, and Fogle for Buchnevich and Sundqvist. That's pretty pricey. But they're going to want 2 firsts for Buchnevich, are they not? Right? They got to look at
in that scenario, you get 2 roster players. I have time for Sundqvist. He's a big guy. Greasy hair.
He's a
right shot.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I just don't want I want him to keep Fogle in the bottom 6. I mean, maybe I like Fogle more than other people, but I like Fogle in the bottom 6. He's a way more impactful player than Connor Brown and Derek Ryan and Sam Gagner. Like, you don't want to all of a sudden to still have to rely on those guys. And if they, I guess you'd be putting Sundqvist into the bottom 6, but I like Fogle more than him anyway. So I don't know.
You got to give to get.
Jennison, it says Mark Forward is the coach on Letterkenny. Oh, so he would be a comedian from Letterkenny. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That makes sense. Sorry, okay. I was like, what does Mark Forward mean?
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I feel bad.
RCN says there's no way to keep Fogle and get Buchnevich. No, I think there would be. Would there not? Like in a full-blown retention scenario, there would be.
This is a hypothetical.
Give me your hypothetical.
Hear me out. Would you?
No.
It's a hypothetical.
Oh, okay, fine. Let's have it then.
If you had to, would you swap Kane instead?
for Buchnevich. Wow.
Yeah. This is totally hypothetical.
Money's close to the same-ish, like within range. How much term does Kane have left?
1 more year, I think. Or
is he just a 1 more year, or does he
4
have 2?
years.
I think he has.
Maybe he has 2 more years.
Does he have 2 more years after this, I think? I would think it's 2.
It is 2.
Okay.
Off the top of my I actually have it right here. I should have just looked at this tab.
I didn't think we were going to be going hypotheticals on Evander Kane today.
Hypothetical. If you
So what else happens? Is there something else that happens with this? Like, or is this just like in a vacuum, as scientists say, where it's just you're flipping out Kane, you're bringing in Buchnevich, you're just changing the player.
Yeah.
But are you also adding another guy who can play in the top 6, or what?
I suppose that Oilers fans would probably be like, well, you still need to add an upgrade at forward. So I understand that. But would you be okay with moving on from Kane to get a Buchnevich? Maybe you throw in a first-rounder and you try to get another player on the roster, like a Sundqvist. Hypothetically, again, obviously. I'm just saying. And then you can keep Fogle, maybe re-sign him, likely for a haircut. I don't know how he gets 2.75 again after the years he had here.
You would need to get Kane's approval to do this.
Yes, he controls his destiny.
I got his clause right here.
Yeah.
No movement clause till February 28th, 2025. So that's a year from now.
Yes, that's
and then it's a modified no trade starting a year from today, which is a 16-team trade list.
Yes.
So would Evander Kane accept that to go to St. Louis? Back down to the States?
Guess no.
Maybe.
I would guess no. Unless it was like a really good destination. Right now, St. Louis is not that. It's a good one, but it's not really good. Anyway, it was just a thought that crossed my mind.
Pender's Pancake says, you will see Kane's value in the playoffs. I'm a hard no.
And I understand that.
The only the thing that comes with me with the Evander Kane conversation is one that we've had like a few times recently when we're talking about how they juggle around the top 6 is that he's not really a fit with Leon Draisaitl. I don't think their games gel well together.
That's a good point.
And like he's good with Connor McDavid, but Zach Hyman's so much better with Connor McDavid.
Yes.
Right? So I mean, I think the whole discussion around Evander Kane, if you're trying to move on with him, is that you like him as a player. I would agree with the people who have the takes of good for you in the playoffs, you would hope, with his style of game.
Been, yeah.
But are you going to just load up McDavid with Kane and Hyman and try to make the most of that? Or are you going to continue to play him with Draisaitl on a second line that just seems to be a little distorted when they're together? That would be that. Like, so then in that situation, you're just flipping up for a different player that you think could be a better fit alongside Leon Draisaitl on the second line.
Yeah.
I'd still probably lean towards no, just keep him. Because there's the benefits of him in the postseason, you hope.
Just a thought.
But still, I mean, that's an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
780-218-9999.
Spency 5 cents, he says Kane slots in the third line on a deep team. I think Kane's a top 6 guy.
Yeah, I think he's a top 6 guy.
I mean,
you would be a really good team if Evander Kane was legitimately behind 2 left wingers better than him.
You need all-stars.
Yeah, that would have to be a pretty good team. I think if you were to take Evander Kane and look at the majority of teams in the National Hockey League, I think he's probably slotting in on the second line for most clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're like being huge Kane homers here by any stretch of the imagination.
He's a very good player.
I think that's good.
He's a very good player.
Rusty Shackelford is in and says, I understand Kane is a streaky player, but it seems this year he's had really big highs and really low lows. He needs to be a little bit more consistent.
Consistency, I'm with you. I don't know if the lows have... Like, there's been times where you're like, what is he doing out there? But...
Yeah, not long ago, there was the one game.
I think he's irked... My sense of this is I think he's irked some Oilers fans with, like, some of the comments and then body language. Generally, he's been good. When he's been on, it's been lights out, like was mentioned. but I think he's come under the spotlight a little bit for some negative things, and I think people have kind of piled on a bit. My take, that's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth.
Here's his last 2 months. In February, 6 goals, 0 assists, 6 points.
Yes.
In January, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. So in his last 2 months, he has 11 points.
He was banged up in January. I will give him that.
Okay, but this month he had 6. Now there were 6 goals.
Yeah.
But that was it.
I know.
He doesn't have
played a lot with
he doesn't have a
Draisaitl.
point in the last 5 games. 2 goals against the Coyotes, 1 against Detroit, and then the hat trick against Anaheim. So 5 of his 6 goals have come against the Coyotes and the Ducks, which isn't really anything to sort of write home about. His December, he had 4 points. And November, he had 14. Like, he started really well. He had 20 points in the first 2 months, but he really hasn't produced anything. And I always give some of these guys a little bit of benefit of the doubt, the guys who don't get to milk the power play.
I gave him a lot of benefit of the doubt there, didn't I?
What's that, with the being banged up?
Yeah.
Well,
saying that
I mean,
hasn't
bottom
been
line
that
is
bad.
you spend most of your time playing with either Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. And I know during the stretch they had moved him around a little bit, down to the third line briefly, but you can see why. Like 11 points in the last 2 months for Evander Kane that's just not good enough.
That should be a month minimum of points from a guy.
Yeah, I mean, you would like 8 to 10 points a month.
Yeah. That's fair.
7 to 9 points a month for at least. And it's just not there. And he's playing, let's see here, what did he play this month? 18, 15, 16, 15, 21, 16, 18, 16, 15, 17, 17, 16. So he's playing enough to be producing, but he's just not necessarily producing that much.
B-Mother Reviews says via the Nasty Chat, do you think even asking Kane to waive would irritate him, similar to lack of playing time? Maybe.
Who cares?
But
you're a professional hockey player.
Yeah.
Like, you have this contract in place, so if somebody was going to move you, you get to say no. If they come and ask you, then what, you're gonna become a little baby? Like, I would hope that's not the case.
You could just say no.
Just say that you've negotiated this into your deal. Say no, and suck it up. You're getting paid $5 million a year to play in the National Hockey League. Come on. D. White says, on pace for 30 goals as a top 6 winger in my books. You know, this is the conversation. This is where the Kane thing started. Somebody asked us, would he even be, he's a third liner. They're saying the statement was he's a third liner on deep teams. We still both think he's a top 6 forward on pretty much every team in the National Hockey League, but he's a top 6 forward that hasn't been producing like a top 6 forward for the last 2 months.
And he's always been like a 50-point guy. He's never really been lights out. Like, he scored 30, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a guy who scores 30 and gets 20 assists.
One of the few guys who can score from distance. That's important.
But he's not even doing that as much.
I know.
And that could be obviously injury related.
Could be.
Might not get that back. But he is one of the guys. Like, last night I was thinking, you see the McKinnon goal last night?
I did not.
So McKinnon picks up the puck in the neutral zone, flies down the wing. He's at 100 points now. Flies down the wing.
Is that good?
And just snipes one. Right shot, goes far side on the goalie. And I'm just like, the Oilers, like, you just don't see that with a lot of their guys. Like, just coming in, straight up beating a goalie from 30 feet out. Like, that just doesn't, they just don't have those guys who shoot the puck like that. Like, McDavid's usually dangling his way in.
Yeah.
Draisaitl usually does it, but it's on one-timers. It's not really off the rush. That goal from McKinnon last night, I was like, man, this guy's a freak. To shoot the puck at that high speed on that play. It's a nice goal, right? Like,
it is a nice goal.
Like, the Oilers, their guys don't. Kane's a guy who could do that sometimes. Yep. But Nuge doesn't do that.
Not really, no.
McDavid's always just going to continue to drive it to the net because that's what he's great at. And Draisaitl usually tries to maybe slow it down in that situation. That's why I like Vetrano. Can I give you my 10? Can I give you my 10 names?
Oh yeah, sorry, we should have gotten.
I'll give you my 10 names here. We still got a little bit of time. Let's get. What are you looking at out there?
Came in. Did somebody just come in?
Oh yeah, Sheldon was in.
Oh, Sheldon.
He came to Mexico with Fraser and I like 10 years ago.
Oh.
That was an all-time trip. for all of us, not Fraze. Fraze kind of didn't do anything on that trip.
Sit in his room?
Yeah, he kind of just walked around, took pictures the whole time. The rest of us were like hitting up the pool, going to the hacienda, like living a good life.
Was Fraze in his artist phase?
I don't know. He was taking lots of pictures of critters and stuff, he said. Okay. And he was listening to Freakonomics. Was that like a podcast or something?
I have no idea.
Anyway, Fraze was ahead of his time on the podcast.
Fraze
for sure.
is just going to do whatever Fraze wants.
Oilers 1988 says 100% they lack guys who can score from distance. That's the first thing. Our eyes are always sort of viewed towards the Oilers. And when McKinnon came in and sniped that last night, I was like, man, nobody on the Oilers can do that. And not many guys in the league.
No,
I mean, McKinnon is elite. There's not a lot of guys who can go and do that. But I think Vetrano, Vetrano's a guy who is a one-shot scorer. He's a scorer, right? He's a shooter.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to carry the puck. The other guys can carry the puck. You get in the offensive zone. So I got Frankie Vetrano 10th on the list.
Okay.
I got Scott Lawton 9th on the list, but it doesn't look like they're going to be in on Scott Lawton. So
they did discuss earlier, but
they've had talks about Scott Lawton, but it's probably not likely. Yeah. So we can put a little asterisk by Scott Lawton. Sure. Nick Dowd.
Yeah.
Washington Capitals, number 8 on the list.
Yeah, he's a good one.
He would be a nice fit in the bottom 6.
Yes.
Get another year, 1.3. Maybe they retain just a little bit to help you out.
Take some back.
That would work out okay. Number 7 on the list, Sean Walker, who we have discussed today. There is some interest from the Oilers in Sean Walker. It's a situation to monitor. Number 6 on the list. By the way, I set this entire list on the morning show today in 6.2 seconds.
What?
Yeah, we timed it. Kind of got carried away on the show there today, but we timed it at 6.2 seconds. Vladimir Tarasenko, number 6 on the list. Has he been linked anywhere to the Oil at all? I think I think a veteran guy like that with Stanley Cup experience in. He has a little bit of an edge to his game. I think he'd be a nice fit on the right side in the top 6. He's a UFA, makes $5 million. Yeah. You can make that work.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Carrier, defenseman out of Nashville.
Alexander, not William.
Yeah, no, Alexander Carrier out of Nashville.
Yeah.
Adam Henrique, number 4 on the list.
Legit, yes.
Can play left and center. They'd probably require him to play right wing a little bit, but he's a versatile dude. You can move around. You got other versatile pieces. Nuge can play wing. Drysdale can play wing. Henrique can play wing. He can play down the middle. He's 5.825 right now.
Yeah.
Number 3 on the list, I do have Jake Gensel. I think Oilers fans should be cheering for Gensel to go to the Golden Knights, and then that leaves Buchnevich there for the Oilers to take him.
Oh.
Right? Like, would that not... If you see the Golden Knights pick up Gensel, you should be very happy. Well, unless you don't get Buchnevich, and then they have Gensel and you didn't add anything.
Yeah,
then that sucks a big one.
That could definitely go sideways.
I take that back. Number 2, not sure he's going to become available, but if he does, Tyler Toffoli. Mm-hmm. Tyler Toffoli on the right side would be a dream, man. 4.25 UFA.
The Devils better figure out what they're doing really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, their season's going to come down next 3 or 4 games, right? Yeah. And then number 1 on the list is Buchnevich. I love the fact that you have him for next year's run, too. I think that's the guy. You pay the price to get him.
They're going to try.
And I will make a statement right now.
Go for it.
Right now, as we wrap up the Oil Stream a week before the deadline, we will have a week from now, we're going to be like, Oil Stream's over. Coming up next, more deadline day coverage, which will be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My statement will be, what was my statement?
I don't know.
I was just going to make here's my
Are you okay?
Here's my statement.
What's happening?
There's a lot going on. I'm thinking about a lot of things. It's this chin strap. It's so fine. No matter the price they pay, if they get Buchnevich, I will not criticize the deal. I don't care if everybody else views it as an overpay. You pay the price to get the guy. He's around next year. I don't care what the price is. How's that for a take?
Stamp that bad boy.
Now, 1 week from now, I'm sitting here being like, I cannot believe they gave out that much for Buchnevich.
You better not.
I can't. Not now. The statement's been made.
It's been made.
Statement's been made. I'm going to stand by it. There is no overpaying in my mind for Buchnevich. If they can make it work financially, get him. Unless it's like Holloway and 2 first. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
But
now you're putting
I have to justify it.
Okay.
It's okay. There's no overpay.
They're open to stuff like that. They're going to try. We'll see what happens.
A week from today, the trade deadline, 'tis be upon us. We'll have full deadline coverage, obviously, all of next week, and then extended coverage next Friday right here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Tell your friends to listen on TuneIn or at iHeartRadio or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and, of course, watch on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up before you leave today as well. Tommy will be back. Hello Hockey tomorrow. What time?
10.
Pre-game show what time?
12:30.
J-Rock, do you know what time J-Rock's going to be on?
11:30.
11:30. That's a big one. That's appointment tuning right there. 11:30 for J-Rock on Hello Hockey tomorrow. That is going to do it for us today. A huge thank you to all of our partners, One Putt Virtual Golf, Cool Bet, Popeyes. Get that delicious Popeyes chicken sandwich up in your belly. And, of course, at Boston Pizza, where every Tuesday is Pasta Tuesday, and get that New York Sicilian square footer on your lips, your tongue, and your teeth this weekend. You're going to love that. Tommy, have a good busy day tomorrow, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. That was fun today.